great down here in Tennessee. We don't need y'all to talk about us because we're going to talk about ourselves.
You good, man? Are you okay?
Oh, hey, Jake, what's up?
Okay.
Hold on, give me just a second.
I got you.
I got you. Here,
Take all the time you need, brother.
Get a little prep going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know how it is. I mean,
I feel you, man.
All right.
Wow. Getting this video started off with a bang. Oh my, Justin. You're chugging it so much it disappeared in the green screen effect.
Oh, I did? That was
yeah.
I think I'm ready. Do I look good? I think I look pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the state of the team right now.
Yeah.
I got to get started off in the most appropriate way. All right, Jake. Okay. All right. Let me give a recap. Okay. Sunday, Titans go out to Philadelphia, for a nice, fun, happy, just, football game. Guys are going to throw the pigskin around. It's going to be a good time. Except AJ Brown goes off for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, totally punking these Titans defensive backs in just the most embarrassing way that we, deep down, I feel like we saw coming, but we were praying that it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been fine with losing. But not like this. Not like this, Jake, where the roster mismanagement is shoved into your face of not retaining AJ Brown. Well, Jake, speaking of roster management, it's Tuesday. The news has broke for a couple hours. We don't have a general manager right now. We don't have a general manager.
Unbelievable.
Big week in Titans land here, Jake.
Yes, it is.
What are your initial thoughts, reactions? There hasn't been a whole lot of time to process and digest it because the news is so new right now.
Absolutely. It's I wish I could say I can't. I'm left speechless by this team. It's shock. It felt like the AJ Brown trade in terms of shocking bombshell Titans news that we're not used to seeing from this franchise. Honestly, every move I feel like has been calculated and very seen from a mile away, so to speak. But this was a shocking news bulletin today, and it stings a little bit, Justin, but it also, I personally feel like I kind of saw it coming. I haven't said anything, vocalized anything, but I'm in the camp that John Robinson has sorely mismanaged the Super Bowl window, if you want to call it that, of the Tennessee Titans. Because if you look at, I guess we can just dive right in, Justin, looking at the 2019 AFC Championship game run. Since then, what have the Titans done to push themselves over the top, become a serious Super Bowl contender from that run? What have they done other than draft 2 first-round complete busts, 2 waste of a first-round pick in Isaiah Wilson, Caleb Farley? They traded for Julio Jones, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but gave up a 2nd and 4th rounder for a guy who basically did nothing for your team in the year 2021. What else have they done? Oh, yeah. Speaking of that receiver room, Justin, they traded away a generational talent, the best wide receiver that Nashville has ever seen play football in their city, for, a first-round pick in Treylon Burks, who, the jury is still out on, but you saw it on Sunday. It was just a full display of every John Robinson mistake over the past 2.5, 3 off seasons coming to a head against an NFL, one of the NFL's elite teams, and it showed you just how far away the Titans are from those elite NFL teams.
It was very well said, Jake. I totally agree. It was the picture we saw in front of us on Sunday where our wide receivers, they knocked out Treylon Burks, our best wide receiver. Like, dude, Yeah, Traylon Burks is not AJ Brown right now, but dude, I really do like having Traylon Burks on this team.
Mhm.
Would rather have still kept AJ for sure, but Traylon Burks looks like a hit so far. Hopefully the hit that he took won't keep him out too long, but he's been coming along really nicely. So like what I'm seeing out of Burks, but outside of him, nobody was getting open down the field against the Eagles. Robert Woods, the replacement of Corey Davis, who was replaced by Julio. Now I guess we're trying Robert Woods to replace him, replace Julio, and he struggled this year. I think Robert Woods had maybe 2 catches, less than 20 yards, no impact. Nick Westbrook-Akina out there. And was it CJ Board, I think, our punt returner, who was literally our 3rd wide receiver going into this game? Complete mismanagement from the wide receiver room, and also the offensive line issues. Can't block for Derrick Henry. Can't pass protect for Ryan Tannehill. They were all over Tannehill with 6 or 7 sacks in this game. Henry, yet again, barely getting 30 yards rushing. Couldn't even find a big play for him in the passing game. He was totally taken out of the game. So yeah, not being able to replace Roger Saffold, really not being able to replace Jack Conklin, going back that far. He's had some great draft picks over the past 2 years. He really helped build this competitive team from where we were in 2015. Let's not, forget where we were before John Robinson got here. But after drafting some picks, and of course he has the big buzz. The past 2 drafts have been bad. You can say both things are true, where he's helped build this roster to be competitive and not having a winning season since he landed here. And also he's botched the roster, especially in the past 2 seasons. I guess what I'm trying to say is when we do have something good in front of us, he hasn't been able to keep these players. Jack Conklin walking, not being able to replace Roger Saffold, Taylor Lewan going down with an ACL. We were not adequately prepared to put left tackle in his place. We did have Dennis Kelly, who did fill in pretty well, for Jack Conklin, and ended up starting, I think, for a whole season for us. But he was still kind of a step down from what we were getting from Conklin. And now I guess Nicholas Petit-Frere is doing okay. I mean, he's actually probably a bright spot on the offensive line.
Goes to show.
But yeah, and then just not being able to replace the talent that we do have in the past couple seasons is really, really coming to bite us. Bringing in Zach Cunningham has done nothing but been a huge cap hit. Hoping David Long Jr. Developed into a starter, and he's having a great season. But I mean, outside of him, what is the linebacker depth? We're having to go to practice squad guys. Dylan Cole, I've liked a lot of good things out of Dylan Cole, but still, just a lot of no names. Like it seems like almost a weekly basis. I'm like looking, and I'm like, okay, who is this? Who is this guy on our defensive line? Number 30? Oh yeah, okay, Trey Avery. Yeah, we have to get him out there. And actually, God bless Trey Avery. He had some good coverage plays, I think, on AJ Brown. It was just turn your head around, Trey, turn it around, and he can make a play on the ball. And of course, AJ, made a touchdown grab when he was draped all over him. But yeah, it's just a lot of, yes, we're having CJ Board come out there, and and then Caleb Farley is hurting us, and then of course the Isaiah Wilson. What are we getting from Dylan Radens? You can point to a lot of bad draft picks. I mean, I'm letting it all come out here, Jake.
Yeah, dude, you're
I'm unloading.
Fine. It has been a domino effect, as you're alluding to. It was, one small mistake in 2019 or 2020, letting Jack Conklin walk or letting Dennis Kelly walk is, you draft Isaiah Wilson as the replacement. And obviously, that was one of the biggest busts probably in Titans history. And then that domino falls to Dylan Radens in the second round in the very next draft. And Dylan Radens can't even really see the field for the Titans. So it's been a domino effect for John Robinson, leading all to that absolute ass kicking in Philadelphia that we saw on Sunday. And, I've been reading a lot since the news dropped this morning, and I've been looking at different things, and it kind of makes sense, Justin. And that's why I'm kind of not shocked. And that's why, I could have seen this coming. Because you think back to Mike Mularkey's firing, and that was under John Robinson, I guess, under John Robinson and Amy Adams Strunk regime. Yeah.
We were all on board with that one, right?
The optics were the Titans just won their first playoff game in over a decade. And, they go and then boom, they fire their head coach. And it's what's the reasoning behind firing your head coach who just won you a playoff game for the first time in forever? And it's because the Titans had hit their ceiling under Mike Mularkey. They weren't going to get any better under Mike Mularkey's leadership at head coach. So what did Amy Adams do? She canned him, brought in Mike Vrabel. Now, I'm alluding to that AFC Championship game run so much because it was, it's been the pillar and the beacon of this current Titans regime under John Robinson and Vrabel. We have reached our ceiling under the John Robinson GM leadership. And that's just kind of how it is. We've been knocking at the door since 2019, knocking at the door, playoff loss, both at home. What have we done to improve since that 2019 team? Justin, I feel like we've gotten worse than that 2019 team. And we have 2 off seasons to build upon that and go from good to great, as Mike Vrabel likes to say. And we really haven't done anything besides move sideways and maybe even a little bit backwards. We're just lucky we play in the AFC South.
Yeah. That's a good point. That this division is why we're probably sitting in okay position at, I don't know, okay position. It's all relative, but sitting at 7-5, a couple games, in first place. It is only because of playing in the AFC South, and but hey, the Colts were competitive and a legitimate wild card threat. Not last year; they got bounced in Week 17 by the Jags, but they had the Phillip Rivers version of the Colts was a good team. They beat the Titans in Nashville that year, and then the Carson Wentz team, who else? They made the playoffs 2 straight years, I thought, or was it just under Phillip Rivers?
Just Phillip Rivers, yes.
Oh, okay. Well. Okay, yeah, whatever. Throw the Colts out then. It's this division really helps. The fact that we've on our way to 3 straight division titles, but it does feel like it's almost an expected thing now after being bounced in the playoffs the past 2 years in the first round. I guess this is our ceiling, and we just happened to go on that run in 2019. Really caught fire, lightning in a bottle, so to speak. I guess with Tannehill really inserted as the starter, becoming really, giving life to this offense was exactly what this team needed when Tannehill came in. But I guess it's hard to cope, and it's hard to. It is confusing, and it does seem like it came out of left field. Nobody saw this coming. Everybody was on the fire Downing train. Fire Downing. This offense stinks. And then this happened. So I'm wondering, surely there's something going on behind the scenes. Maybe Vrabel and JRob are really starting to butt heads and have a big time power struggle. Do not see eye to eye with the direction of the team. Maybe JRob was getting ready to pull the trigger on Downing. He was like, okay, the offense, 10 more points against the Eagles. Embarrassing. This team, this offense is going nowhere. We got to make a change. I'm firing Downing. And Vrabel was shutting that down and like, no, we're not doing that. If he goes, then I go. And then so Amy Adams-Strunk has to step in and be like, okay, I'm not going to lose Vrabel. I'm put in a position where I have to pick one. I'll take Vrabel. Sorry, JRob. And I think most of us would agree with that decision. But I don't know. There's so much speculation. JRob, there's so much going on behind the scenes. Maybe JRob was trying to fire some people, some of Vrabel's guys, and Vrabel didn't want that to happen. And so a big time power dynamic going on, I think. And then maybe we'll learn more as the week goes on or as the season ends. What exactly happened. But I think we can all go back to the starting points of their relationship getting fractured with the AJ Brown trade on draft
easily.
Night. You can see the frustration on Vrabel. He did not want that to happen, and him just getting out of his chair and pacing back and forth and kind of shaking his head a little bit. He was not about that, and I wasn't about it either at the time. I don't know.
And you still can't be about it when he torches the Titans for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, making us look silly. Dude, absolutely silly. And me and my dad watch a lot of the games together, and we were kind of fighting. We've been back and forth on this AJ Brown saga. Was it the right call to let go of AJ Brown? We just sat there, watched AJ Brown catch, long AJ Brown touchdown, long AJ Brown touchdown. And now that John Robinson is out as GM, the Titans lost the breakup by by 25 points on Sunday. You know, the Titans got beat by, 3 possessions in the breakup, so to speak. Which side wins the breakup? The Titans are absolute losers in this case, especially now with the firing of John Robinson.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing to see how wrong we were with that move, and it just being shoved into our face on the TV screen on Sunday. Yeah, we're wrong. We're bad. We're the Titans, bro. We have the best generational talent. I don't know about generational. There's a lot of great wide receivers in the NFL, but a top 5 wide receiver. You say best wide receiver in Titans history. I remember watching Derek Mason, my guy. Don't disrespect my wide receiver 1 OG Derek Mason, right?
Fair enough.
I think there's an argument to be made. But yes, you don't. The Titans have been searching so hard. I think Paul Kaharski had a fantastic tweet, hit the nail on the head for a team that's been looking for a legitimate, bona fide wide receiver 1 since 1999, and let him walk out the door on you last year on draft night. We got what we deserved. That was pretty much his tweet. Searching for the wide receiver that we never had, except Derek Mason. And then we don't do everything we can to hold on to him. It's just such a sad, bad look. I mean, I've been a Titans fan and following this team longer than JRob. I know the struggle for finding a wide receiver 1, and he finds one, and he can't hold on to him, Jake. And then he just goes off. How many times did we see AJ Brown just body and Moss wide receiver or defensive backs in a Titans uniform, and then seeing him do it to us, dude? That would be like watching Derrick Henry in like a Colts uniform, stiff arm, freaking Kevin Byard to the ground and run for a long touchdown. Like it hurt like that, dude, to see AJ Brown do that to us. But yeah, talk about, if he has an ego, if he's a diva, this and that. He was right. At the end of the day, he won, like he said, at the end of the day. And I hate to admit that. But he got his way. He got his cake, and he's eating it too. I mean, he single-handedly put this Titans organization in disarray. The one player has completely destroyed us from the inside out. Maybe that's over dramatic, but
no, I don't think it's over dramatic. And if you have to make the argument, if the Titans win in Philadelphia, or the Titans, are competitive, and AJ Brown doesn't absolutely murder and embarrass your entire franchise, does John Robinson still have a job today on Tuesday?
Winning fixes everything.
It's a valid question. Exactly. Winning fixes everything. But going back to just, this team has not gone from good to great. We have gone sideways. We have not gone forward since the AFC Championship game. And I can't help but feel, it's John Robinson's draft misses. It's not really seeing the problems that are there and doing adequate things to address those holes in the roster that we've all seen. And, we've really scratched our heads at a lot of his drafts as of late, 2019 excluded. But it's just really tough to see, man. And you mentioned it, all the thanks and appreciation in the entire world for John Robinson coming into this team at 2-14, 3-13, coming out of the Ken Wisenhunt era. And all of a sudden, boom, it was 6 straight winning seasons, 4 playoff appearances, on track for 3 division titles, a run to the AFC Championship game. John Robinson dragged this team out of the doldrums, but it's what has happened since then, which has resulted in his departure.
Yeah. What have you done for me lately? It's like, I feel like we've established a new standard here in Nashville with this Titans team, and we're not taking that next step. I mean, you can, I guess, compare it to not taking that next step, like you were talking about with Malarkey and Robisky, and that was their ceiling, was the wild card win, and then we're taking the next step with Vrabel, and now we're winning division titles. We made a run to the AFC Championship game, and now do we need to find a GM that can take us to the next step and go to a Super Bowl? It's hard to see what John Robinson did with this team from when he started to, like I just said, like, what have you done for me lately? The draft busts and what have you, and not being able to retain players that you did hit on, and then not taking that next step, and just repeating what you said, going sideways, a little bit backwards now at this point. And yeah, so I guess a move had to be made. But like right now, though, right now
Crazy,
in mid-season,
crazy.
I mean,
Yes.
could John Robinson and Vrabel just not stand beside of each other anymore? Can they not even exist in the same building? So one of them JRob had to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems like it came out of nowhere. But I mean, hopefully the team doesn't lose focus. I mean, we got the Jags coming up. I mean, there's so many distractions now, so many distractions with what's going on here. This team still has a division title they can lock up in the coming weeks. And I mean, how much we're going to be rebuilding after this season or not remains to be seen. But hey, I'm still excited to see this team play a playoff game and see what happens. Who knows? I don't expect anything. I'm expecting more of what we've seen the last 2 years, a one and done maybe. But this team still has a future this season. But yeah, this is certainly a wrench thrown into everything and how we're spiraling now with a 2-game losing streak heading into or now in December. So yeah, dude, I'm glad, we can talk about this instead of having to harp and try to find things to talk about from the Eagles game.
Yeah, dude.
That was just a horrible display and embarrassing. And it was all about AJ Brown torching the Titans. That's all that happened. And yeah, so who wants to discuss that? We have a GM. We have a hole at the GM position. I thought we were going to have a hole here. I'll throw this at you because I mentioned possibly a disagreement Vrabel and JRob had was that Downing. Maybe JRob wanted to fire Downing, but Downing is Vrabel's boy. So now without JRob, does this mean we're stuck with Downing still? I don't think Vrabel's going to get rid of him. And we might.
Here, the thing with the offense is, it's one, I think it's a philosophy problem. You can't be running the ball 25 to 30 times. I know how great Derrick Henry is. Trust me, I'm the king of saying we need to appreciate Derrick Henry and feed him the ball 25 times. But it's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust anymore. It's not 1960. It's not 1990. It's not the 2000 Titans. Sorry, Justin. It's a different league, and you see the gap between the Titans and the NFL's elite this season, especially. Last season, they got away with it. They were beating good teams last year, but now it is just not happening. And I think it all starts with this offensive line. Look at the draft capital invested into the offensive line has been a complete waste in Isaiah Wilson, Dylan Radins. And it's, letting Saffold walk, letting Conklin walk, letting Dennis Kelly walk out the door. And, you're putting a lot into aging Taylor Lewan, who can't stay on the field. And
Ben Jones, who's
Jones,
he's breaking down.
Ben Jones is breaking down, and you're starting to see that absolute crumbling foundation. Okay, where were these guys that we had when we did go to the AFC Championship game? They're not here. They're just all not here. And when you have a bad offensive line, as the Titans do right now, and they have a piss poor offensive line, Justin, you can't do anything on offense. It doesn't matter if you have Sean McVay calling plays and Mike McDaniel's your head coach. It's not going to matter. You can have all the bright, young, sexy, hot minds in the entire football world. It's not going to do anything if you have Dennis Daly starting at left tackle and you're just getting gashed every single play, no matter what you do. It comes back to those personnel swings and misses. And think about this offense, Justin, the way it's made up. Okay, the offensive line is terrible. We have no depth at the offensive line anyway, so you just got traffic cones up there. Okay, maybe we have a dynamic receiver out wide that can help us. Nope, we don't have that either because we shipped one out and he is just absolutely torching us on Sunday. And then, okay, we have 17 on a hobbly ankle, Tannehill out there trying to make it work, and Derrick Henry behind a makeshift offensive line is not happening. So I still don't think Todd Downing is solely to blame for this. And you're seeing that Titans brass, Titans ownership, and Mike Vrabel agree that it's the players, it's the personnel that we have right now, and not exactly coaching. Are they right? Who's to say? But I mean, it sure as hell looks like we do not have the personnel to compete on offense.
Yeah. But this also isn't the first time this team's dealt with all kinds of injuries. We had one of the most injured teams in NFL history last year, but we were still winning games. But I mean, that's not sustainable. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of dealing with the same thing this year. I mean, we have less capable backups that maybe you can say, or injuries are hitting us harder in key areas. But yeah, we don't have the personnel. I mean, just the fact that we're trotting out Nick Westbrook-Akina and Robert Woods and CJ Board out
As
there
our three, top three.
as our well, that's who we had after Burks went out with the injury. Yeah, nobody's there to make a play for you. The best thing going for this offense, Jake, the only reason why we were moving the ball, it felt like, was the times when Tannehill would escape the pocket and just run for his life and converting third downs into first downs.
Mm-hmm.
God bless Tannehill, dude. I think he was a warrior out there on Sunday, and it sucks because I thought he was on his game. I thought he was playing really well and throwing the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw a lot of great things from Tannehill, and he was hobbled, and he got banged up again near the end of the game, and he kept coming back in, and the announcers were talking about it, like, not sure why he's in the game, but he's tough as nails, and I'm sure the players love that. I mean they definitely respect seeing Tannehill battling through injuries and wanting to be out there, even though the game's away from you, and it probably isn't the smart thing to continue having him out there. But Tannehill stock, it went up for me in this game. I mean, he was harassed, sacked, and he was still out there giving it his all and playing really well. I mean, through that strike, to Burks in the end zone between defenders. I mean, he set him up to get lit up, but you're not supposed to hit a guy like that anyway. So
I know.
But anyway, Tannehill was playing well, and it sucks to see him having to make things happen with given who he's needing to throw the ball to and who's protecting him at the same time.
It's brutal, man. I just and what do you think about the future of this Titans team? And I know it's impossible to tell. I'm talking about after the 2022 season concludes, probably inevitably with another home playoff loss, is the doom and gloom side of me talking there. But after the 2022 season concludes, Justin, and the smoke clears and you're John Robinson-less, and you're going to have some money decisions there's going to be money decisions to be made. You're looking at a Tannehill restructure or even a cut. I don't think they're going to cut Tannehill because he's too integral and too what's the word I'm looking for? Just ingrained in that QB spot, and you don't think Malik Willis is ready. So they're going to have to restructure Tannehill. You said Cunningham has been a waste of money to this point. He's probably going to be a cap casualty. Bud Dupree could be a cap casualty. Taylor Lewan could be a cap casualty. Robert Woods, ineffective this year, could be a cap casualty. It's going to be a whole new roster churn, and you're going to have to hit on these draft picks. Hot seat, whoever the new GM is going to be. Ryan Cowden is going to be the interim GM. I don't know if they hand the reins to Vrabel. I don't know if they go to Stretch, Vrabel's right-hand man. We'll see. But it's going to be a big-time hot seat on this new guy to draft really well and make the right money decisions when it comes to the current Titans roster, because they're spending a lot of money on players who just can't stay on the field, or when they do get on the field are ineffective.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to run it back with Tannehill and Henry again, obviously, yeah, I agree. I think Tannehill is going to be coming back for another year, because we're not in position to replace Tannehill. And if you do, then that is signaling full rebuild mode.
Yeah.
Is there a rookie coming out or a college prospect coming out who would be available around where we're drafting, where we can immediately insert them into the lineup? What is free agency looking like as far as quarterbacks go? I don't think you're going to find better than Tannehill for the 2023 season if you want to try to make a run in 2023 somehow. But you're right. It's a huge task. You have to fix. You need to find the whole left side of the line, left guard and center. I think we're probably rolling with Nate Davis and Nick Petit-Frere on the right side.
Yeah.
But those three offensive line positions have to be addressed, and you have to hit on a couple receivers in the draft and maybe go out and find one in free agency as well to fill out this wide receiver room along with Treylon Burks. And maybe we have something in Kyle Phillips too, but that remains to be seen. But yeah, this team needs a full overhaul in O-line on the left and a big chunk of wide receivers. And outside of that, I mean, maybe looking for some linebacker depth. I mean, Landry just got paid. He'll be in Nashville. He'll be healthy next year.
Mm-hmm.
You like what we have up front. Jeff Simmons needs to get his contract worked out. Now I'm freaking out about Jeffrey Simmons. If we need to retain a player, it's time to retain Big Jeff and make that happen.
Yeah.
We cannot, if Big Jeff, if we let him walk or if we trade him on draft night, I'm gonna burn this hoodie on camera for everybody.
It very well could. You know, I would be right there alongside you in writing strongly worded letters to Miss Amy and the rest of the crew up there. But here's the reason. I actually saw a tweet that was in reference to this very topic, Justin, and it's whoever the new GM is, whoever it's going to be, they see that John Robinson let a huge talent for the Titans walk out the door, and it cost him his job. They are not going to make the same mistake with Big Jeff Simmons on this defensive line because he needs to be paid by the Titans. I don't care where you find the money. I don't care if Taylor Lewan's got to go. I don't care if Zach Cunningham's got to go. Robert Woods, see ya. Like, thanks for your time, but no thanks. We got to pay Big Jeff and make sure the core of this defense, Byard is paid. Hooker is paid. David Long needs a contract. Jeff Simmons needs a contract. If you can get all those guys grouped together, Bolton might need a contract down the line. Although I don't think he's going to demand top shelf money like a Jeff Simmons and maybe a David Long could even knock you for quite a big cap hit. But it remains to be seen, man. It's crazy that this team has a 3-game lead in the division and is likely going to win it and host a home playoff game. The GM's fired and the roster is in shambles. It feels like. I love the it's AFC all about South. Perspective. It's all about perspective.
Yeah. It's amazing. God bless the AFC South. We're still on top of the. We're the smartest idiots in the room.
Yes, we are. That's
the way to say something. Yeah, so we're 7-5. Really, I mean, Jacksonville's. This is maybe one of the biggest games of the season, just in terms of we are. I think we could have locked up the division, except the Colts are on a bye week, and we need one more. The magic number's 2, either a Titans win or Colts loss. We can eliminate the Jags with the win, though. I saw so. It'll be all but settled if we go out there and get a W without a GM. What are we going to do, Jake, without a GM on the field on Sunday? I don't know how this affects the team itself and the performance, just outside of it being a general distraction. Because I don't think JRob's in there helping game plan or scouting the opponents or anything like that. So, I don't know if it'll affect the team like that, but it's just a distraction. Rallying and getting a win at home against a rival that you've had their number for pretty much of all time since the team moved to Nashville would help the fan base feel good. I mean, this fan base, man, we're desperate for some good things. I mean, we rattled off some wins, ugly wins early on, and now we're really kind of seeing the team for what they are really in the past 2 weeks in the holes. And it's not a good feeling, Jake. I want to win again. I want to, look at scores and highlights with a smile on my face because the Titans win. It's a good feeling. And to, the sooner we can wrap up this division and pretty much lock in that 4 seed, because we're not doing any better for sure. The more that maybe we can, rest players, get healthier.
Yes, Big Jeff needs rest. Big Jeff needs rest.
Ben Jones, Christian Fulton, all these guys who are dealing with some kind of injury or another. I mean, we could almost mail it in for the last month of the season and get 100% healthy for our first playoff game and just see what happens. I don't know what
that's your only hope. That's your only hope right now.
It's your only hope. We could have maybe the Miami Dolphins coming into town as the top wild card team, or could be the Bengals coming in again if the Ravens win the division.
Please no.
I would sell my.
No Bengals, no Ravens. I don't want either of
them. They're the 2 teams that beat us at home last year, or the past 2 years in the playoffs. None of them. Well, I'll try the Dolphins. We went to the Dolphins game last year. And we destroyed Tua, but they didn't have Mike McDaniels there as head coach. So, or Tyreek Hill, or. I think they had Waddle. But anyway, they're a totally different team from last year now. But we'll see what happens. But, I mean, let's get a win against Jacksonville and start feeling good. Have something to feel good about for this team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm right there with you, Justin. I think that's going to take us to the barn for this video. We got the Jags coming into town. It's time for the king to be the king again. No more sub 40-yard games.
Yes.
Let's get Derrick Henry rolling. Let's get this team back on the winning track and kind of wrap up that division on Sunday. Justin, do you have anything else?
No, I need to leave. The whiskey's finally starting to hit me, and now I'm real drunk now. Real drunk after chugging half a bottle.
We need that same energy on Sunday from you, Justin, for the game.
Oh, yeah. You're getting it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank y'all for tuning in. Tighten up, even though we are a tighten down right now. But don't
tighten down.
Thank you for your service, John Robinson. Thank you for everything you've done. But alas, some things just weren't meant to be. Tighten up, and we'll be back.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. In JRob, we trust Era. We no longer can trust thee. It's sad. It's over.
It's over.
But
crazy,
a
just like that.
Celebrating. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, this move doesn't come back and bites us, and we go back to the days of pre JRob. That's the worst case scenario. Get that bad juju out of here, Jake.
Yeah, we need to end the video. End the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Tighten up. We're going in a good direction. Peace out.